Thank you for tuning in to Connect More, featuring the shared experiences, new adventures, and nightmares of four pals who have known each other for decades. Connect More utilizes the swear jar concept to raise funds for the American Cancer Society. When you hear this during the episode, the offender will contribute to the swear jar. We'll update the swear jar each week at the end of the program. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, yo, welcome to the premiere episode of Connect More. I'm Eric. There's John.
Present.
That's Brian.
Hey, yo.
And that's Jason.
Hello, friends.
And on this episode of Connect More, John and Jason opt out on some trends. Brian and I share fantasies, and then we whip around on band names. But let's start with a check-in with everyone to see what's good in our lives right now. Brian, what's good?
All right, this is going to sound cheesy as hell, but I don't care. I'm really thankful for my family and friends, including the three of you, okay? I'm having a real difficult time in my life right now, and I know I can call any three of you for anything at any time and be supported.
That's
and
right.
Also, my other friends and my family, my wife, in-laws, whoever it may be. And I'm thankful they're always there, okay? So thank you all.
Listen, we're here as long as Sandy pays us.
That's right.
You are certainly allowed a moment of sincerity, even in this little format with these idiots on this call. You can be sincere. It's all right.
That's what it's about. Jason, what's good?
Well, one of the Sundays are always a lot of fun for us because usually Frank calls from basic training. So he had a half hour of phone time today, so he called earlier today.
Hey, Ruben. And Ruben, ladies and gentlemen, is a very good friend, longtime supporter of the show. We like to let him in on what's going on in the backstage area. So just a reminder, Ruben, Frank is Jason's oldest son.
Right. Yeah, sometimes Ruben just doesn't pay attention. So you got to remind him. He does know who Frank is, but yes. So anyway, my son Frank has enlisted in the National Guard, Army National Guard, and he is at basic training. He's got like 3 weeks to go, and it's harder than hell, and he's miserable, but he doesn't want to quit, and he knows he's got to get through it, and he's literally soldiering through it right now, and we're proud as hell. And he sounds good. He sounds strong, but he really wants to go home.
But he's just got a few more weeks, right? He's almost there.
He's in the home stretch. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he definitely is. Yeah,
he'll be fine.
He's got his fingers crossed. He thinks that there might be a hurricane that cancels his third and final, it's called like the Forge or something,
yes.
Like some big 3-night like hellish overnight thing, and he's hoping it gets canceled by a hurricane.
Well, I know a few of us in this room have been sending him some very encouraging letters and notes.
Yes, he loves it. He loves it. He gets a big pile of mail almost every day, it sounds like, and he's really appreciative of all your support. And yeah, it's he's doing something I sure as hell could never have done. You all know that I didn't have this in me. So I'm just pretty damn happy that he's being successful and he's going to get through it.
That is awesome. Finish strong, Frank. John, what's good?
I went last weekend to Anime Iowa with my son, who is one of the adult anime nerds, and they had just over 2,000 people at the Hyatt in Coralville. It is a thriving subculture of people who engage in cosplay and play video games together and watch anime together. I got to play an online bar game called Quiplash from Jackbox TV that I had never heard of, and it was just a great deal of fun to hang out with. It's if you've never seen those folks do their thing, it is a really unique subculture around the Japanese anime, and I learned a lot and was inspired and frankly surprised that they put together that number of people around that topic here. We met vendors from places like Minneapolis and Lincoln who come in just to do that show, and good for Iowa. They kicked off the weekend with an illegal drag show that was it was a tradition that they do. So it was like 10:30 on the Friday night. They've got like a DJ every night. You should see these nerds rock out. out. But they were, this drag show was under one of the Iowa laws that was not ultimately passed, but had it passed, this would have been an illegal act. And they were all pretty excited to be able to do that. So that was a really good weekend to go down and spend with my son. In the past, I've dropped him off or spent a day. I haven't really ever done the whole thing.
So you were a Quiplash virgin, huh?
I've never seen Quiplash before in my life. And you should have seen the humor that was coming out of these 20-somethings, half in the bag at 11:30 at night. That was educational also.
I bet that was a hoot. Cool.
See, when you first said, "Oh, I went to Anime, Iowa," I was like, where is that? Is that like what little town? I've never heard of that little town. Where the hell is that in Iowa?
In Fox County.
It's in Fox County.
It's next to Avoca. It's between Avoca and what are the other A's out there? Anita and
Audubon.
Adair.
Audubon, Adair. Exactly. Everything between here and Omaha starts with A.
All right, my good stuff is I got a couple. One's real fast. Now 100% of my children are engaged to be married.
Yay!
Yay! When those weddings will happen, literally nobody knows.
Place your bets. Place your bets.
I hope that
That's
we're
good.
all alive to attend. But my other big good thing right now is kind of jumping off with Brian here is that as you guys know, I've been bugging you for 5 to 6 years to do this damn podcast, and here we are, and it's liftoff time. So that's my big good thing.
Well, as long as we've got 2 or 3 more practice sessions, I'm going to be just fine with this. I'm ready to roll.
Well, John, our listeners are going to enjoy growing with us, I think.
Both of them.
Both of them. Ruben and those 5 other people, and eventually
That's
they'll
right.
share it. Right?
Dozens and dozens.
All right, guys, that is some good stuff, but not everything is great out there, as John and Jason will remind us.
You ever find yourself screaming, "Make it stop," at a new trend or an app update or a slang term? Same. In Unsubscribe, we'll rant about what's broken, what's bizarre, or plain unnecessary, and we will officially opt out. We're going to kick it off with Jason tonight. What do you want to unsubscribe from?
Well, as you all know, I've got a lot of grievances. I'm pissed off about a lot of stuff. No, but seriously, one of the things that came almost immediately to mind when we were thinking about unsubscribing is I am utterly over the trend of animated movies being remade as live action. I don't get it. I don't understand the need for it. I don't understand what's added to the world artistically when you take something and most of these movies that they're remaking are giant hits. Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon and all of The Lion King. All of these things were big hits and staples for generations of kids. VHS and DVDs, they've got Lion King lined up all over the place. Why? I just don't understand the need for it. I know it's a cash grab, obviously. I mean, that's why they're doing it. And the CGI and all that stuff has caught up so that they can do it. But I just think it's not original. It's not interesting. It doesn't expand our pop culture world in any way.
And what I don't understand about it is, and I'm sure that John's son and his friends at the anime conference would totally want to take time to explain this to me, but they're animation, and then it's in these live movies, but then most of it's CGI anyway, which is animation in that animation world, right?
Yeah, and they were crazy about CGI 15, 18 years ago. Everything was CGI. And so it was like, this is the cheap way to make these films and churn them out for kids to watch. And now they're flipping back the other way. And as I understand it, it's a combination of green screen acting and CGI. Did they run out of budget for the computers? Like, what happened to that they need to go back to the live action stuff? We've been through so many layers of this technology update that I think it just chafes on us when they advertise something as being a big, bold, new way to do it. You guys remember the ViewMaster? Did you have a ViewMaster?
Of course.
ViewMaster.
Oh, yeah.
I had a ViewMaster with Fantasia on it in about 1974, and that was entertaining to me to watch the slides from Disney's Fantasia move.
Were they 3D?
One click.
They were 3D.
I think they were 3D.
Yeah,
one click at a time. Yeah. So fuck your CGI.
Well, and also, because I think it's exactly the opposite trend of where we probably ought to be heading with a lot of this, because, and like when we were kids, we all wanted to see comic books come alive, right? Do you remember that Spider-Man show that was in like 1982?
Sure
and
do.
it was terrible. Like the costumes were terrible. It was awful, but we sat around and just watched the shit out of that thing.
Loved it.
We loved it. So we wanted to see superheroes become real. And now they are. Now we've got all these big movies where they're real. But the best superhero movie that I've seen recently is those Spider-Man across the universe or across the whatever verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into and across the Spider-Verse.
That's what superhero movies ought to be.
Those are Oscar-winning animated films. They're advances in animation. They're amazing. Again, with my son, but we go to see them as soon as they come out. And you could put one out today and I would see it.
But stop putting real humans in costumes and making it look like they ought to be walking around the real world wearing those costumes. It looks stupid.
I can't let this go by without a mention of the early 80s Bill Bixby Hulk, because that was real entertainment on a Friday night watching Lou Ferrigno rip out of those jeans. And it was like nothing you'd ever seen on television before.
Or the Shazam guys driving around the desert in an RV.
In the RV.
That had a lightning bolt on the front.
Yeah,
that's
baby.
But I mean, and that old guy in the white leisure suit and stuff driving the RV, like that was some real television there.
But here was the deal with both those shows. You were only going to see the superhero twice in an hour.
If you're lucky.
Did you ever catch on to that formula?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was Spielbergian in the sense that you hide the actual, converted superhero until the money shot, right? I feel like the greatest American hero was lampooning all of what we just talked about like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
definitely.
Way before it's ahead of its time,
Yeah.
So I'm unsubscribing from live action or animation to live.
Don't take Jason to any more comic book movies, even if DC has finally made a decent movie.
Although I did like Superman, though. It was fucking awesome.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
They finally made a good movie. They got it right. They turned it over to James Gunn, who made help me out, the Guardians of the Galaxy movie works, right? Yeah. All right, boys. So my opt-out is going to be, and you guys have heard me complain about this before because it's a long-running complaint of mine, which is about corporate jargon. And I'm going to unsubscribe from corporate jargon today. I have to hear it where I work, and have been on video calls working from home for 5 years and 4 months leading up to return to office just a few weeks ago. And I'll be honest, I hear it less when we're actually in the office. It seems to proliferate in the video calls. But my message to folks is that like we could just all stop doing this and it would be just fine. We could just talk to each other. And so here are some of the big the current corporate jargon phrases that I just want to go away. So future proof, which is like we have no idea what's coming, but we want to sound like we do. Let's talk about quantum ready architecture, which is about quantum computing, which nobody in a meeting who's using that term understands quantum computing. I'll guarantee it. And anybody who talks about architecture also can't describe to you, how even the org chart of their company works, much less what the product is. The zero gravity mindset, which is a smarter way of saying think outside the box for people who are bored of that little aphorism. And then the digital twin fluence, which I actually heard this in the wild.
Wait, what? The digital what? Twin fluence?
Yeah, the digital twin fluence. The notion of the digital twin is you have to every process that you're doing, you want to that you identify that is manual. You want to try and create a digital side by side of that, so that eventually it can all just be done by AI, if that makes sense, right? And so you're essentially working to make yourself obsolete by coming together to create systems that can be duplicated in the AI space. space. And actually, the whole AI thing is what's driving a lot of this in the last year and a half. Just people who don't understand what AI is, trying to insert AI into every conversation. And I wasn't in these big corporate America conversations like 25 years ago, but I imagine it's what it was like when the web was coming in or when social media was new, and everybody was trying to like sound smart by inserting those phrases. So I'm going to unsubscribe from the corporate jargon.
So say that digital one again?
There's digital twin fluence. Yeah, digital twin
fluence.
Yeah.
Look, folks, if that doesn't come up in our whip around about band names, I think that's going to be a big disappointment.
And Eric, I know you pick up your favorites for me, and your favorites are double click as a verb. Let's double click, and then circle back. And we need to get aligned. Becoming aligned is a way of saying I agree with you, and that one is actually hilarious.
Well, I watched that one documentary too about the that band in the '80s and how influential the Thompson twin fluence was.
Look at that. That's
right?
Just brilliant.
They probably had to shorten it, like some producer.
But that was the name of the documentary, the Thompson twin fluence. They're everywhere. You can't listen to a song without. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm laughing in here where it counts. And now we're going to hand it over to Eric and Brian to talk to us a little bit about, it's just a fantasy.
Sure, we've never coached a professional team or even stretched in the last decade, but we have yelled at a lot of TVs. In Just a Bit Outside, we take a swing at the world of sports, from wild predictions to questionable calls, and remind ourselves why we'll always love the game, even if our knees don't. So it's that time of year, big time of year, fantasy football time of year. We're all in a league together. I've been in a league together for a long time. So Brian and I thought we'd dive into a few tips and tricks that have really gotten us far in our fantasy football league that pays absolutely zero for winning the league, but it's bragging rights, right?
That's
the big deal. So my big tip right away is you got to stay active. Every week you got to stay active with trades and claims. You got to be looking at the waiver wire. You're always looking to improve your roster, right? And you guys know I drive you crazy with trades all the time and jumping on the waiver wire. So that's my number one big suggestion. Brian, what do you got?
Oh, my big thing is picking out players, not the draft. So, mine is always don't choose any Viking players. So just don't do it. Or if you're just somebody you hate, you don't want to root for somebody you hate, right? You don't want to do that.
Absolutely. In fact, here's my list. I find that I usually do better. My season goes better the least I study for the draft. The more I study, I think I overthink. So when I go into a draft, I got that list of people I won't draft. Here's kind of the top 2 or 3. First of all, anyone named Aaron Rodgers, fuck that guy. Or as a Bears fan, I'm not drafting any Packers. Or also as a Bears fan, I'm also not drafting any Bears quarterbacks. I think these are good rules.
Rules to live by. I don't think the Bears. Well, that's nice because the Bears management doesn't draft quarterbacks either. So you're allowed.
Okay, let's go through how many times have people won the league. I've won twice. How many times you won, Eric?
Oh my goodness! As you know, I actually started this league a good 30 years ago at a newspaper that I worked for. So all that combined and the time that I eventually brought you guys in, I'm probably closer to 10 than 5.
I think I've won once.
Yeah.
And I've won once. I went 7-7 and won the playoffs one year.
Oh,
Well, Jocko, you were doing this league before it was on a website.
I was doing it in paper. I was doing all the scoring. I was sending out this little newsletter on my that iMac thing that had the blue back on it. Yeah. It was all manual.
people don't remember that what used to happen was you'd go to the bar and you'd get the single piece of paper that had the parlay for the week on it. And you'd make your selections and hand it back in along with the money. And that is how it worked. And you could find that in any bar in the Midwest.
Well, like newspapers literally don't have box scores and stuff anymore. Like there's no sports statistics in the printed newspaper at all anymore. And we used to live by that.
They still have papers?
Yeah.
Some carry ads on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and then you might get a news article in there sometimes.
Yeah, in some towns every day, like a couple times a week, someone takes all that shit on the internet, downloads it, and then prints it, so you can like look at it.
Wow,
it's convenient as hell.
I think that'd be a newspaper. Isn't that more like a magazine? But once a week, maybe. I'm just talking out loud here.
It's for our parents to have something to look at and bitch about how there's nothing in this newspaper anymore.
Look how small it is. Jeez, it's all like this.
It's all ads.
All right, so this is also something super important. We need like funny team names, okay? So here's some classics over the years. The Iowa City Cunning Linguist.
Oh, brother.
La Porta Party.
Oh, sweet.
And Deshaun's Rub Club.
Ooh.
Are those fantasy football teams that you've actually had in your league before?
We've had the Iowa City Cunning Linguists.
We did?
We did.
I'm glad somebody used that Deshaun one while they could.
I mean, I had Michael Vick's Kibbles and Bits, stuff like that.
So, how do you guys do your team names? This is a big deal in fantasy football. I always, mine have a theme. I always name my fantasy football teams after pro wrestling tag teams. Demolition was my most successful fantasy football team.
That's awesome. As you guys know, I've stuck with Dead or Canadian for a long time, and I just love anything that's a bit or a game show or something that sort of trivializes the whole exercise is funny to me. The one I really want to use this year, because we always have this joke about who drafts the kicker first, and will you draft 2 kickers, and how many kickers. I've seen guys put 4 kickers on just because they were having a bad season, and so I want to do American kickers, and I may actually do it.
And I have my team name is the Bipolar Bears because you never know what you're going to get any week. So that's just the way that works.
Not only do you know you don't know what you're going to get weekly from Brian's team, but you also don't know annually either. Let me tell you this. There was one year when he was easily the highest scoring team in our league and still wound up in the toilet bowl somehow.
Yep.
That's a feat.
Oh, Ruben, the toilet bowl is a playback in the playoffs of the losers bracket. And if you can win that, then you get a small prize and the honor of the draft.
And that's what I won last year, by the way.
Congratulations.
So I'm on the clock. I'm on the clock officially.
We used to have in this league, an actual trophy for the toilet bowl. And it was one of those scrub brushes. And we would pass it around annually. And we would just take a Sharpie and write the winner of that year. And they got that trophy for a year.
We should do live drafts again. God damn it, that was fun. Remember we used to actually do the live? We got together in person. Damn it,
that what I like fun to bring to a draft. I'll get it out again. I've still got a 3-hole punch here somewhere.
Oh, he's talking about a binder, everybody. Just, it's just.
We're all showing up with stuff written on the back of like magazines and stuff, and John shows up with his binder full of women. At the time, that's how well he did, I think. But
this was pre-Binders Full of Women. Ruben, that was the line that Governor Romney used in his unsuccessful campaign for president in 2012.
The live drafts, though, I do miss those, right? I mean, right now we do them on computer from all 8 of us are in various different places, and there's no trash talk. There's no jeering at somebody's great picks.
It takes about 20 minutes and we're done. We're like, oh, I guess that was it. All righty then.
Yeah.
I've done that draft from Chicago, from Minnesota, from the back of a car on a work trip. It's so, and you're right. It's not the same thing. We should have to commit.
Sounds good. We'll start that for next year, and maybe that'll wind up being an episode of Connect More.
Ooh, a very special episode. Yeah,
we'll get him next year.
Well, you can't have a good fantasy without a whiparound, that is.
No doubt somebody's wondering where we are by now. So before we get called back to reality, let's stick and move with some quick takes, fast laughs, and we're out. It's time for a good old-fashioned whip around.
Whip around!
Whip around!
Yay. Oh, your band names that you heard during the last week. And what is the band's musical genre? Yep, the bands you've heard in the last week. And what is the band's musical genre?
All right, this comes out of my jargon work. So the band is Trust Layer Breakdown. They play industrial noise like Nine Inch Nails. The album is Emotionally Encrypted.
Nice.
All right, how about Jax? What do you got?
Well, my little guy has been watching The Simpsons. And so out of The Simpsons, I got the band name The Neglectorinos, which is a Flanders-ism there. And
Beautiful.
They are a band that does, they go around and do school assemblies about why child abuse and things is bad and like how to, say something if you see child abuse happening. They're called the Neglectorinos. And they do a cappella, it's mostly a cappella, like doo-wop kinds of songs about child abuse.
So Up With People from DHS.
Exactly. Thank you, John. You've crystallized my thoughts precisely.
All right, I'll go next. My band name is called 12 Night Stand. And this is a Prince cover band or just a band that plays background music for classic porn. Found out about this band name with John. He was talking about Coldplay playing 12 nights and a residency in Vegas. So, I think that was just a good band name. So we'll go with that.
Pinky's up, man.
Yeah, that's classy. Very classy. All right, Jocko, what's your band name?
Hey, my band name this week is Millions of Brazilians, and they do synthesizer arrangements of works from famous Brazilian classical composer Heitor Villa-Lobos. Google it, kids.
All right. Thank you, Dennis Miller, for making that nice little comment and appearance during our segment.
Making us
Stop
work.
me before I sub-reference again.
All right. We're officially whipped. The swear jar amount to benefit the American Cancer Society will be updated at the wrap-up of each episode. Closing credits with the nice lady, please.
Thank you for listening to Connect More. I'm the producer. Please subscribe and like this podcast because it's my only chance of getting paid for this gig. Connect More is a product of Pan Tiger LLC and is hosted by Brian Danielson, Eric Van Lanker, Jason Nisus, and John Hedgecoth. Connect More is edited by me and Jocko. The showrunners are Jax, Hedge, and Weenus. Theme music written and recorded by Ryan Veeder. Cover art designed by Leon Golden. Musical director is Evil. Legal liaison is Brian. Lead writers are John and Eric. Runner-up writers are Jason and Captain Danielson. Publication coordinator is Jax. Special thanks to GVC, Aaron, Miss Roper, and Yoko. Visit us at connectmore.com.